All right, that should do the doobly doo. Did I set everything up correctly? Let's see. It's public. Yep, should be live streaming. All right. Kind of set the camera a little low, but whatever. Hey everyone, if you're watching this after the fact, I'm just kind of goofing around with a demo bike that I'm taking out this weekend. And to kind of make it a little bit my own, I'm going to be swapping out just a few key parts on it, contact points, wheels, all that stuff. And I figured I'd make it a cool hangout. I see some people already in the chat. Hold up, let me pull it up on my phone because I need to be able to read. I don't have superhuman sight to be able to see everything. Hopefully you guys can hear everything okay, because I kind of had to dust off the live stream stuff. It's been a little bit. Sounds good? Awesome. Good trails. How's it going? Canadian MTB, what's up? Paul the punter? Yes, here I am. I know. I'm so flaky. I say I'm going to do something, then 15 minutes later, I still haven't done it. But here we are. Nate Palmer, nice whip. Yes, it is a nice whip. Just to clarify, we are not vandalizing it. We are just going to be making a few custom tweaks to it for tomorrow. Oh my gosh, people are filing in like crazy. Want to ride bikes? What's up? Addison, what's going on? Crashing Dad Shane, how you doing? Connor, yes, it is a nice bike. Thanks, man. Thanks. I'm glad you love the show, man. OTB, what's going on, man? I swear I've only had half a beer tonight. I'm just kind of out of it today. Bill, yeah, Guerrilla Gravity bikes are really interesting. It's so cool to be able to walk into the bike shop and like get to round the corner and literally see the welder tacking together a new frame. It's a very unique experience. Yeah, it is a little bit good to have things set up the way you're used to. Let me crank this down so I don't mess myself up. So we're not going to be going crazy tonight. Tonight's more just a hangout. I'm going to swap out some components on the cockpit, put my wheels on there because these are 2.3s, and even though I'm going to be going to a bike park, I'm spoiled by plush size bikes, so I need a little bit more cush. Need a little bit more cush for me. And then I'm probably going to have to swap out the drivetrain because this is running the E13 cassette, which I do not have the right hub to be able to run that on my wheel set. So we're going to be putting on probably the box cassette that I pulled off the Yeti before I sold it, which I gotta say, it's so weird having the Yeti gone. I miss it, but I was also really glad it found a good home. The guy who bought it used to ride BMX, but then he traveled for a living for quite a few years, had to sell all of his belongings. Very similar story to what I did for a while, and now he's back and he needed a good bike. Thankfully, he had good friends that had good taste, and they got us synced together, and he now owns the bike. Let me catch up with the comments. Canadian MTB, oh, what were you doing on your bike, man? Just giving it a little TLC or adding new goodies onto it? Want to ride bikes? Just add a new saddle to the wife's bike. A saddle is very important. A good saddle can make the difference between a good ride and a great ride. And Nate Palmer, new GoPro. Are you asking about the Hero 7 or are you asking about this doohickey? All right. I think the battery died on the other one, so hopefully you guys should have audio again. It just won't sound as crispy. Let me get rid of this thing. This thing's kind of annoying anyways. Let me know if that sounds any better. It might sound a little bit weird. Sorry, the battery died on this. I was hoping there was enough juice to last the live stream, but unfortunately no. So we'll just bring this microphone out here, take that off, and we'll carry on. That was probably my cue that I was rambling too much, eh? All right. So yes, GoPro. To summarize, if you're asking about the GoPro Fusion, I definitely have some high hopes for it. I've only played with it a little bit, but I'm gonna try it out tomorrow. The GoPro 7. Let's work on the bike, and I'll talk about that. How's that? Single Dragon Whiskey. What's going on, man? Good evening. Let me just angle this up so that way I don't chop off the top of my head. Now we'll get in close and let you guys see the detail of this gorgeous Colorado-made bike. But right now, let's just get moving on the part, shall we? 3 GoPros in the background. 2 GoPros, a Yi, the Sony Action Cam, and my Insta360 camera. Yes, I have a lot of stuff, and some of it I might actually sell off before the end of the year. Well, screen was blackout, audio worked. I thought it was Ethan from... Really? Am I having video problems? Okay, cool. All right. So, first off, we are going to swap out the grips and the stem. I think I'm just going to leave the handlebar. I was tempted to put my own handlebar on there, but I think that the specs are similar enough. So let's not get too crazy. This is a demo after all, and I will be right back. I need my multi-tool. I left it outside. And I'm back. A room full of toolboxes in my kingdom for a multi-tool. All right. Fork seals are surprisingly easy to replace. Good to know. You see my have you seen my, I believe you have my stapler. Cobra Kyle, what's going on? Hopefully you guys can hear me. It looks like the levels are pretty good. Looks like I might be a little bit distant, but you should still be able to hear me pretty well. See if I can set up a phone holder right here. Ha! Kind of. That's kind of okay, probably. Let's see if I can break a cell phone tonight. Yeah, no, I don't have any spare shocks. So, GoPro Hero 7. Let's talk about that. So, if you have not wandered onto YouTube in the past 72 hours, you may not have known that there is a new GoPro out, although I'm pretty sure all of you do. A lot of people were asking my opinion on it, and I was actually going to make a quick video, but like I decided not to because it was like late on a Friday. And I was like, no one's going to watch this. Everyone's off for the weekend, so we'll let the dust settle, and maybe I'll pick one up. So I definitely think that there's a lot of potential there. And this bike needs more cameras. More cameras! It is possible to do that. I think that the new Hyper Smooth, Hyper Flow, the new stabilization built into the camera is pretty darn enticing. I will not lie. Even though it's electronic stabilization,
which means there's optical image stabilization and then there's electronic image stabilization. Optical's always best, but digital can be easier to tune and a lot more robust because there's no moving parts. Optical means the little lens actually moves around. So GoPro opted to go the electronic route, and I will not lie, it looks pretty cool. What do you guys think about the stabilization? Do you think it is a gimbal killer, or do you feel that you know, you're not quite convinced? It's just not that smooth, and you personally would not get it. I do not ski Canadian MTB, although I think this year I might give it a try. You know, Breckenridge, Aspen, all those places are like right up the road since I live in South Denver, so I'm totally lost on cameras. I just turn the thing on and record. You know what? There's a lot to be said about simplicity. There's a lot of YouTubers out there that even though they know how to use cameras in very advanced ways, they just want to push the button and go. Because the difference between, you know, would you rather see the coolest thing in your life and have no camera, or see the coolest thing in your life and have a disposable camera? You know, you're always going to want a camera, doesn't matter what it is. And so if you miss the moment because you're futzing with your camera, you're kind of screwed. Dead Sailor, I'm interested. You know, a lot of people were asking me if I was going to get it, and here's the short answer. No. I'm not getting the new GoPro. I obviously do not have a shortage of cameras, first off. Secondly, there's so many good reviewers out there. I feel like I would just muddy the waters. So I kind of want to wait for them to try it out. If you haven't, DC Rainmaker did a audio test on the Hero 7 and the Black Edition, to specify. He did a comparison on that, and I wasn't impressed. I was happy to see that GoPro had actually acknowledged there was an issue. That was a huge step forward for us. But all they did was kind of thin out the membranes that cover the microphones, and that is a good start, but I really feel like the digital processing inside the camera is still a little too aggressive. Many of you may have already seen the crazy 30-minute long video that I made where I dissected a Hero 5 to understand how it worked. And if you haven't seen that, you should go look at it, because it teaches you a lot about the GoPros and the cameras and how they work. Yeah, Justin, that's kind of what I was getting at. The audio, I wasn't impressed, so I want to see a few more people try it out. Single tracks and whiskey. But I think that the 360 cam is the only thing capable of gimbal level stabilization. I don't disagree. I think that there are some shortcomings with 360 video, and I plan on kind of making an all-inclusive 360 video, giving my thoughts on it and the benefits and shortcomings. There was a reason why I picked up that GoPro Fusion, because I've been kind of living in a vacuum. I've only had one 360 camera, and I can't really stand there in front of you guys and talk about 360 cameras if I only have one, because all of them have pros and cons. It's basically like a skateboard, lean to turn and just... Oh, yeah, want to ride bikes? Yeah, I might try snowboarding. Snowboarding's probably the one that I'm going to be doing. Yeah, outdoor golds. I'm waiting for someone to take one for the team there. So Dead Sailor, Canadian MTB, thanks for hanging out for a little bit. Good luck waxing those skis. Hopefully you get some fresh pow soon, man. Have a good night. So 360 Dead Sailor. That is an excellent thing to bring up. 360 video. When back in the day, when it first showed up, you had two options. You either had affordable but extremely poor quality and very buggy applications to handle that, the processing, or you had prohibitively expensive multi-camera rigs where like literally you would just strap together a bunch of GoPros or DSLRs or whatever cameras with ultra wide lenses. So that in itself is a mess. And then you had to figure out how to stitch it together by hand. And a lot of it was learn it on your own, sucker. So yeah, nowadays there's a lot of great apps out there that'll help you do that. And Rilo is one of them. Not one of them. Rilo is the one that basically changed everyone's opinion overnight on what 360 cameras were capable of. And when those cameras started getting into the hands of action sports photographers, we really got our minds blown, didn't we? On what they were capable of. And I'm installing Rev Grips, by the way. I'm really digging these guys. They're a little bit finicky to set up. Once you get the hang of it, it's actually pretty easy to swap them over. But anyways, Rilo came onto the scene with a very simple push button camera. As someone pointed out, they just want to push a button and go. And then their application was super intuitive. You know, you didn't need this fancy editing rig. You had your cell phone. That's all you needed. And for $500, that was a steal, because there really wasn't anything in that price range that offered that type of functionality. Ooh, single tracks. Oh, single tracks and whiskey. You were supposed to take one for the team. Dude. Don't make me buy one. Justin Ramsey, I just need a 360 camera that shoots in 8K and can be cropped to 4K, and a computer that can process it with a reasonable amount of time. Oh, and for about $300. You might have to wait longer than next Christmas, dude. Let's see. One ride bikes. I got hit by a truck and the truck ran over my two cameras I was using, so now I'm just using what I have left. Then mine and wife's. Oh, dude, you can't win for losing, man. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully you're able to get a warranty claim or something on the cell phones, or like claim insurance, because that sucks, man. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. Hopefully you got something, but I would say that you can definitely do a lot of cool stuff with a cell phone these days. Right? Get a piece of pen. Get a piece of pencil. Get a pencil and a piece of paper. And write this down. These are two apps that everyone should have on their cell phones. The first one is KineMaster, Kine Master. That is a editing application that is phenomenal for a cell phone. And then, what is it? Hold on. Creative. What is it? Camera. Not KineMaster. It's here somewhere. It's a camera app that I absolutely love. Oh, Filmic Pro. Now, both of these are paid apps, but the thing is, they are so worth it. KineMaster is an editing application that will basically allow you to do most of the basic editing that you can do in any type of desktop application. And then Filmic Pro allows you to tune and tweak the camera in your cell phone to do things you never knew were possible. And it gives you such fine control and this intuitive graphical user interface. I use it. I actually used it this past summer in Bellingham to film a bunch of the stuff. So those are two things that I use. There you go. Yep. Good Trails got it. KineMaster, Filmic Pro. Settlement coming for that. iPhones are gone. Dang, man. At least you're getting something. Yeah, KineMaster's good. All right. Got the grips on, but man, I'm sorry to hear that. It sucks. It really does suck. That's some rough stuff, man. But hopefully hopefully you'll be able to put it all behind you and laugh about it at a barbecue or something. So here's the better look down the road. And tonight I'm drinking loose leaf session ale from Odell Brewing. All right. Oh, come on, man. Dude, the universe better be like building up all the good luck and vibes for you. Like just trying to get it all out at the end of this year so like next year you have an awesome time. Because that sucks, man. Drinking a sour apple Kool-Aid. Hey, it's a beverage, so cheers, man. That's an interesting topic, RC. I think the app-based editing for most 360 has been driven by Instagram, Facebook, since most content is shared there right now. That is not an untrue statement. That is not an untrue statement there. Let's see. Wonder if 360 cameras got ahead of the desktop apps. Yes and no. So if you saw me ramble on my Instagram story today, you would know that I was talking about how 360 video is really, really rough on systems because of the fact that CPUs are generally okay at rendering video, but graphics cards have they're built differently than CPUs. They can handle a lot more things at once. They have a lot more lanes of traffic, basically, without getting too deep into it. And because of that, they're really good at helping rendering out video files. The other thing they're really good at, obviously, is 3D graphics. And 360 videos are basically just a sphere of this 2D footage wrapped around a 3D space, and then you render that out. So when you stabilize it, you're basically adjusting the sphere. So to the observer, it looks like everything's nice and smooth. That takes a lot of power. So one of the things that desktop applications are trying to catch up with is how to leverage all that power. And for the people that don't have all that power, how to not, spend, get the noise out of the way, spend all eternity waiting for their footage to render out so that way they can make sweet edits. Free flow IPA. Nice, Paul. So yeah, 360 video. It is not easy to work with. I will say that right now. Because first off, it takes a long time for it to render out. And secondly, a lot of these applications may or may not have good built-in editing. Like with the Fusion, the first thing I noticed about the GoPro Fusion, outside of trimming down the video files to save yourself some rendering time, there's nothing really in there to be able to like pan and tilt and zoom like the Rilo can. But Insta360 does let you do that in the desktop app. So a $300 camera has a one-up on a now $600. The GoPro Fusion used to be like $800 or something when it first came out. Then it was $700. Now they dropped it down to $600, which is only $100 more expensive than the Rilo, which Rilo needs to work on that because Rilo has a great camera, but it's kind of sitting at an awkward price point right now because you have Insta360, who also have a 4K 360 camera with a desktop app and an Android app and an iPhone app. And then you have the GoPro Fusion, which has amazing video quality, that films at 5.2K, so you can crop in a little bit better. And that's only $100 more than the Rilo. So Rilo was groundbreaking when it first came out, and everyone, including myself, wanted to get one. But unfortunately, oh, that's how it works. I've never used this type of that's really cool. I've never used this type of axle. This is how do you pronounce that? Suntour. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Suntour. Suntour fork, and it's got this weird little like clutch type ratchet, little locking mechanism for the front axle, and that's super cool because it keeps you from losing your axle if it comes loose. That's pretty cool. Want to ride bikes? I get old bikes and donated bikes, and I fix them, donated people. That's what bike this year I did. Whoa, 289 bikes? That's how many you built? Dude, you are an awesome person. That is really cool. I like that. You're my kind of people, man. Nice. So Hero 7. I'm hoping that with some software updates, they make it better, but here's my quick rundown. Video looks epic. Stabilization looks epic. They still haven't really fixed the audio. And to me, that's kind of a deal breaker. Because the Hero 4 Black and a gimbal pretty much kills it for me. So yeah. Cameras are interesting. 360 Tech, I think that this fall we're going to see some really cool cameras come out. We've kind of been in the awkward teenage phase of cameras where a lot of them were actually just repurposed selfie cameras, not really action cameras. So for people like me and you who want to record your rides, not so much warm fuzzies. Not so much warm fuzzies. All right, so we have swapped out the grips. I've taken off the front and rear wheel. Before I move to the wheels, I want to swap out the stem. But while I'm doing that, how's the injury? Amazingly well, actually. I'm recovering pretty good. I am going to keep taking it super easy. It is almost the end of the season, so there's no real need to try to get some last hurrahs in. I had an amazing year this year. I got to see some cool sights, ride with some awesome people, and I think I'm going to take it easy for the rest of the year. Come back stronger next season. I've been doing a lot of PT. I need to start doing the yoga. I've been doing, Brian Vaughn got me on push-ups again because it's a great core workout and builds up the upper body. And then I've been doing a lot of stretches trying to loosen up my hips. Also been doing pull-ups just because I figure why not? You know, good workout. So yeah. I bought an El Cheapo camera I use for secondary shots because the sound sucks on it. You know what? Yeah. The GoPro Session is a camera that I absolutely love. It has not the worst audio quality, but not that great, but it's so small you can put it anywhere, and it's like really cool because I can set it up like right here and get like an interesting angle, or I can stick it in my pocket while I'm walking around, set it down, get a quick, you know, talking shot. Carbon Horse Rider. You missed the start as I belch. Excuse me. What brand bike is this? This is the Guerrilla Gravity Smash. Hand built in Denver, Colorado. This is a demo. And we're swapping out some parts on it. I swapped out the grips. I'm going to be swapping out the wheels. I'm going to put on a stem real quick because this is a 35mm stem. And it felt just a little twitchy. So I want to put on a 45mm stem for tomorrow and see how I like that. See if it helps me jive with the bike a little bit better. Yeah, small cameras are great. You know, a lot of people look at Casey Neistat with his huge camera, and they're like, "Oh man, I gotta get that. I gotta film with that. I gotta get the Casey Neistat set up." Here's the thing he doesn't really talk about. He uses some really freaking cheap cameras because he actually hates going around with that. Okay, let me rephrase that. It's not that he hates it. He can't get every shot that he wants with that. So he actually has like selfie cameras. He'll use sometimes GoPros. He'll use drones. So he'll use super expensive cameras all the way down to cell phones. Uh, the the best camera to have is the one that lets you get the shot. So like I was saying earlier, if you all you have is a little Motorola Razr from the 90s, but Elton John is standing right there, and you're gonna get a photo with him. That's the only camera you have? Are you really gonna not get a photo with Elton John just because it's a Motorola Razr? Currently doing what I need to do to make my fat bike because it'll be winter in New Hampshire in a few months. Yes, I grew up in New Hampshire, so I know all about that noise. And all I can say to you, sir, is stay warm because it gets cold. It gets really cold up there. I should know. I lived there for like 16 years. A lot of winters, shoveling snow and chopping down trees. Biking with Panda, what up? I know, it's been too long. It's been too long, Panda. How is it up in the Great White North? Ooh, wow. I might have to, that has a really tall stem. Guess I'm gonna have to swap out a spacer here. Didn't really want to put it down that low, but, oh well. Wet and rainy, yeah. You and Bellingham, basically everywhere not Colorado, because Austin, Texas has been getting a lot of rain too. So, Carbon Horse Rider, I know that you're probably, oh, that would explain why it was so, fork wasn't all the way up. You guys are supposed to be helping me. Oh, I tore a few muscles in my left leg when I went OTB with Boostmaster, so I'm off the bike since last Thursday. Man, that sucks. Torn muscles are no joke. I hope you heal fast, but at the very least, like I was just saying, it's better to get injured towards the end of the season than at the beginning. Because while it sucks, at least you got a few good rides in and you can just kind of rest up over winter. Yeah, Panda's going to bike parks now. I know you were trying to show off your local trails, but it's cool to see you, stretch your boundaries, try some bike parks. There's a lot up there. And how's the van build going, Panda? I apologize. I've been kind of bouncing around. Been taking a break from mountain bike YouTube videos, and I've been obsessing over camera videos for a while. Cause reasons. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. How many people we got? We got 30 people hanging out with me. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Welcome all. Hope you're having a fantastic evening. Anyone get out riding while we're talking about Panda exploring? Went to bike parks in Ontario, but there were just a couple. I've been living in my truck camper for a few months, made a bunch of changes to it. I've been waiting for a new camera to film an update. Oh, did you break your camera or are you just upgrading? What's going on there, Panda? But how about the rest of you? Anyone do any fun end of season riding? Anyone have some big fall epics planned? Or are you just gonna kind of go into hibernation mode and start putting on that winter layer as I've been kind of putting on since I've been taking it easy. Ah, man, wet and rainy. Yeah, that's the story a lot of places. Oh, that's good. Nothing, Ryan. This is totally, cool with Guerrilla Gravity. They said it was totally awesome that I wanted to swap out major components off of their demo bike. Yeah, fall is a great time to do epics because it's just warm enough that you don't need to worry about getting too cold, but cool enough that get a nice little bit of air conditioning. Ryan, yeah, we're swapping out some components on a demo bike from Guerrilla Gravity. It's a home brewed company here in Denver, Colorado. They make hand-built aluminum bikes, as you can see here. And I am trying to put on a new stem. I've already put on new grips. And I'm going to be putting on some different wheels because I want some thicker rubber. And I figured, hey, you know what's a lot easier than just swapping tires? Whole wheel sets and a cassette swap and re-indexing. Because reasons. You don't have your 4K SLR. My Nikon only does 720p. Like glass, but not the blurry cam. Bought a Panasonic. Didn't like it, return it. Ordered a Xiaomi M1. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Yes, Ryan, these have ridiculously long geo numbers. This is a large, and it has a 490 reach. Not quite as massive as your pole that I've ridden, although the pole did have a much steeper seat tube. Correct me if I'm wrong. It had a 78-degree seat tube on it, which meant that that reach needed to be extra reachy. Want to ride bikes? Let's see. Where I live, Chris builds bikes, but he don't do it much. Running his shop took over. Really? This sounds like an interesting conversation. I'm kind of behind on it, though. Careful. The pole. Ryan, you've been greasing your pole there, man? Been making sure that you get full extension on the travel there? Yeah, I'm sure eventually we'll all get tired of talking about Ryan's big, long blue pole. Eventually. Not today, though. Oh, is this a... Ooh. Okay, well, looks like I'm going to have to swap out the bars anyways, because that's a 35 millimeter diameter, and I have 31 stems, so no worries, just swap out the bars. A little bit of a oopsie, but whatever, we'll deal with that. Cheers, Single Track Whiskey. Thanks for hanging out. Wanted the Panasonic G7. G7 is a great camera. There. Let's not get too crazy there, Panda. On account of the weighing jokes. Hey, you know, Single Track Sampler is in Denver, so maybe by proxy his mojo's making it over my way. That sounded bad. Let's move on. All right. I'm going to try to focus really hard for a second, the blonde man said, optimistically, and see if I can't disassemble these grips that I just put on. Oh, chainstay I think is like a ridiculously short 429? 429, I think. I want to say 425, but I think that's the Kona Process that I rode this past summer in Bellingham, which was also ridiculously short, but it did not have nearly as long a wheelbase. So this has a longer reach on it, so it makes sense that there is a longer chainstay than what they probably could have gotten away with. Did I sell my Yeti Carbon Horse? I did. I announced that over Instagram, but to fill you in, this awesome dude named Tim had just moved to Colorado. He and I shared similar paths, although he's I did mine earlier in life and he just finished his. I'll find that later. In fact, let's just pull this off. He used to travel for a living, for a tech company. So did I. And he used to do BMX, which I did not. Otherwise, I'd probably be a lot better at bikes. But he needed a good bike. Now that he's in Colorado and he's settled down for a little bit, and being a field engineer, he had a pocket full of money. And he was looking for a good investment. And his buddy pointed him towards me. And we haggled out a good price that both of us were happy with. And he now is the proud owner of my dear Yeti. I was sad to see it go, but I was happy to find a good home for it. Counterpoint. Should technical climbing be important? I think it should. I think technical climbing should be important. I believe, Paul, we were talking about this last night. I'm trying to find the best of both worlds. I will say that I loved the pole Evo Link. I'll call it the Evo Link for Ryan's sake, because I think he's tired of hearing everyone talk about his big pole. But his Evo Link is extraordinarily stable. Extraordinarily stable. Eric, No Front Brakes, who many of you subscribe to, he only has the one hand. So when Ryan and I were out filming and Eric was tagging along, we were goofing around on Ryan's Evo Link, and I told Eric, hey, can you do track stands? And he said no. I was like, well, try this then. And he got on, and without much practice, Eric was able to do a basic track stand. And it was very impressive that someone with that little experience, with only one hand, was able to hop on a bike and do, what was it, like 10 seconds after a few tries, Ryan? You were there. It was pretty impressive. So that extra length that the Evo Link has does have some benefits, but also some costs. Why do I have this constant affliction of people doing nice? I don't know. Maybe it's because we love you, Paul. We just love and appreciate you as a person. How's that? How's that for an answer? I used to do cross-country bike races, and the bikes I used were kind of heavy, but when I got the lighter bike, climbing was way easier, so weight don't bother me much. That's an interesting statement. So you're saying that it was easier for climbing, but the weight didn't bother you that much. That's an interesting statement, sir. Wow, Ryan's being a little bit honest tonight. Yes, congratulations, Paul the Puncher, on your individual endeavors. Going it out alone. It's a scary world. Maybe one of these days I'll join you. You know, eventually, when you guys show me how to do it right, you know, and the formula has been as well established. He is not alone. You are not alone, Paul. You are not alone. Everyone wishes they could make that leap. Not all of us do, though. And Ryan also recently made that plunge. Hence why those two, you know, no good doers are hanging out together, you know, while the rest of us slackies work, pay our taxes and stuff. More time than money. I don't know. I kind of like having money. Despite what's around me, I do hang on to some of my money. But yes, one day I will join you guys. All right. We'll tweak that in a little bit. In the meantime, let me get this on. Oh, wait. I think the dropper post went on first. Probably. So, who here owns a fat bike? Because winter is coming. Winter is coming, Jon Snow, and I don't think I can do an N+1 this year, but maybe next year. Maybe after this, year, because I'll be potentially getting a new full suspension bike. Maybe it's this one, maybe it's a different one, I don't know. But maybe I might get a fat bike. So I'm curious if there's any fat bikers out there. Or Ryan, if you know that of anywhere in Colorado where I can get one of those sweet ski bikes that you got to play around with, because I will not lie, I was exceedingly jelly, man. Just take me out of a jar, spread me all over toast. That's how jelly I was. Last year I had a fully rigid fatty. I gotta get a fat bike. Oh wait, hang on, let's catch up. Paul says, DB Mission has a long chainstay and it isn't light. Still love climbing on it though. It's good for you. Yeah, you get a good workout, man. Let's get on the real good bit here. Have you installed the water bottle yet? I could. So yeah, fat bikes, it's a blast. Last year I had a fully rigid fatty and it was pretty dope, but I wish I had ice bikes. The ice tires, what? $500. Those better last like all the winters left in the world, because $500 for tires is ridiculous. I bet they grip everything though. You better be able to climb up the face of God and punch him in the eye for $500. Ski bikes are larger than regular bike. Ski bikes are big in Colorado. Good to know, because I want one. I mean, I want to try one. I can't afford that type of luxury item. But they do look sweet. From your video, it looked like you were not having a bad time. Usually $300 for a set of tires. Whoo! $1,500? That's it? Wow. I know that sounds, 1% like, but dang. Only $1,500. I was expecting a much larger figure than that, Ryan. I'll be perfectly honest. Seven PSI, I believe it. Man, I mean, with plus size tires, I'm already running like maybe 14 PSI in the front. For the days where I'm taking it easy and just going through really technical stuff, not really blasting through it, just taking an easy going on it. You ride to work on a ski bike. You would, Panda. Oh, nice! Congratulations, man. That's awesome. That's got to be a really cool feeling. Hanging on to a family heirloom like that. Yeah, 14 to 16 PSI is about what I run. I'll pump it up a little bit if I'm going through like some chundry stuff at a high speed. Ryan, you posting affiliate links in my live stream? No, I'm just kidding. $1,300 then? It's not bad. That is not bad. Yeah, dude. Just because an ounce is just because a house is old does not make it bad. As long as it's not a money pit, which, sentimental value can trump a lot of things. So if you're willing to put the money into it, but you seem like a wise person, so I bet you made sure it was a good investment. No affiliation, just checking. Digital gauges. Oh, I won't lie. I was thinking about picking up a digital gauge. For my shock pump, maybe. For tires, I definitely think that Toe Peak one. I kind of cheaped out the last time, and I have an analog gauge, and it's not bad. It definitely definitely helped out a lot, but man. Some days I'm kind of like, all right, did I just take out half a PSI or full PSI? I have no idea. All right, let's just send it. I'm still going to send it. Nothing wrong with that. Want to ride bikes? Classic homes. Classic homes are always good value. Use touch. So there was, when I was out in Bellingham, my buddy Paul, who, you know, we grew up together. We've known each other since we were like 12, and we're both 32. So yeah, I'm gonna be 33 next week. Ugh, getting old, guys. Getting old. Anyways, we're on Galway Mountain, and Paul rides this really sweet Process 153 because he was working for Kona at the time, so he was able to get the hookup. He was trying to dial in the tire or the shock pressure, but I left my gauge at home because I was like, we won't need it. So he grabs a stick and he sticks it into the valve, and it just, you know, just lets out this whole big blast of air. And he's like, "How many psi is that?" I was like, "I don't know, like 5." It was a lot more than 5. Don't do that. Don't try to vent air out of your shock with a stick on the side of the road, because a is a lot more than 5. Oh, so many people asking about the Hero 7. I'll say it one more time. I think that the video quality is amazing. I think that there's a lot of potential for GoPro to improve upon it with firmware updates, but currently I'm not happy with the audio quality. They still haven't fixed it. They thinned out the waterproof membranes covering it, and if audio is really important to you, I would seriously consider a different camera, or holding on to the one you have and seeing what they can do with firmware. Yeah, okay for tires. On a tire, you know, that's manageable. On a shock, that's no good. Means right over. So where am I taking it? So I am taking it to a bike park, and if you are a Patreon subscriber of Single Track Sampler, you know exactly which bike park I'm taking it to tomorrow. For those that are not, go get on that. So it's very cheap. It's very cheap. He makes a very easy payment system to get in, but he's doing a private Patreon meetup, and I was invited because he and I have been trying to ride for like the past month. Brian, BKXC, and myself went out for dinner their second or third night in Colorado, because Brian was only in Colorado long enough for his Crested Butte trip, but we really wanted to hang out. So we just met up for dinner. We didn't do any riding. Plus, I was on my back injury, so everyone was just happy to chill. What bike is this, by the way? This is the Guerrilla Gravity Smash. Smash. By the way, I'm totally going to get Alex to say Smash on camera standing next to this. I gotta. I'm just obligated. It's called the Smash. Yeah, Brian is pretty cool to just hang with. He's a wacky dude. He's a wacky dude. No, Guerrilla Gravity is here in Colorado. This was welded here in Denver, Colorado. All right. So we now have a cockpit. I'm going to adjust all these off camera, but that looks pretty good. I just want to get things tacked in place, and then I'll torque it up, because I need to be able to focus when I'm torquing things to spec, because sometimes I kind of space out and lose track of what I'm doing. Okay, so stem is installed, handlebars installed. I'll have to put the stem back on the race face bar. Grips are installed. The chain should be slack enough so I don't need to worry about that. Yeah, I'm gonna be riding park. I don't need a lot of cogs, right? I don't need no stinking high range gears. That's what the lift is for. All right, let's swap out this cassette though. Or do I? Hang on. What am I doing? Oh, no. I know what I need to do. I don't need to swap out the cassette. I need to swap out the front rotor. Because I have a 180 on my front. But this bike has a 200. And I wanted to swap out the rotors anyways just because I don't like swapping rotors and pads if I don't need to. That can lead to bad mojo. So I need some star nuts. Da da da. Do do do. Where did I? Okay, there they are. Oh, yeah. Paul, don't give it away. He's trying to keep it down low because problem is if it gets public knowledge, then like everyone shows up, and then it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of poo-poo for the Patreons because that's part of the cool factor, being able to go and hang out in a smaller group setting with Alex. Because if he made that public knowledge, man, that place would be blowing up. Yeah, Panda already took care of it. Sorry, I was trying to be coy there, and I didn't make it clear. So, no harm, no foul, man. We'll just chalk it up as a learning opportunity. Well, yeah, man. You know, I gotta be honest. It's so weird having downhill parks available now. That is fair, Panda. I'm not exactly a massive celebrity. I'm not Seth Bike Hacks or Jordan Boostmaster level of... Bro, can I have your goggles? You're sponsored, bro. Let me have your goggles. Wanna Ride Bikes, thanks for hanging out, man. Thanks for hanging out. You are cool people. If you're ever in Colorado, man, let me know. You seem like my kind of dude. Ugh. Oh my god, yeah. You could not delete that comment fast enough, Panda. Seth would literally have to cancel. Seth and Alex would be like, well, not going there. Anyways, bike parts. Bike parks. So I'm still wrapping my head around the fact that there's like a lot of bike parks where I live. Although funny enough, Austin is getting their own lift access downhill park. Spider Mountain. The local groups there, Free Ride 512 and Team Trail Party. I don't know if the Austin Ridge Riders are more cross-country groups, so I don't know if they've been helping out, but those two groups have been pulling major hours getting Spider Mountain all ready for its grand opening. And it's only like 40 minutes outside of downtown Austin. So that's crazy. Texas is getting its own downhill park. But back on topic, I'm getting used to the idea of having all these downhill parks around me, and like it's actually making me change the way I buy and maintain parts, because man, people are right. Parks, any park, will tear the crap out of your bike. How many people have had their bike get completely demolished because of a park? I'm curious to know whether it was like just tacoing a wheel, having your brakes completely melt, or like, you know, having the thing detonate on the trail. Crosstech, are you talking about the guys working on Spider Mountain? If so, yeah, they're rock stars. Those guys, Those guys are doing it for the love. That's the best kind of people. Good trails. Have a good one, man. Thanks, man. I'll have fun tomorrow. Panda, you know, I almost want to say that I don't think it's about being a good rider. I think it's just, you know, how rough those trails can get. Braking bumps. I heard about them, but I did not respect them enough. I was one of those people sitting there, you know, from my cushy office chair going, I don't understand what they're complaining about. They're on, you know, machine-maintained trails. Oh, your hands are sore. Poor little bit. No. Oh, my gosh. Oh, it's so real. It is so real. I have literally had to pull over on the side of the trail halfway down, get off my bike, and just sit there and let my hands take the apology, because that's all I could do is just say I was sorry. Oh, Scorpion. Scorpion's never fun. Deception is pretty rough on bikes. That is very true, man. Mount Frome. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, it is crazy. Arm pump. When I was in Austin, Texas, I wasn't fast enough of a rider or hard enough of a rider to be able to actually get real hand pump. I would get hand fatigue, but that was like, you know, I'd been riding for 4 hours, so my hands were just sore and general purpose. Yes, we get it, Panda. We get it. Yeah, I need to catch up on the series, Ryan. You, Paul the Punter, Lone Ranger, BC POV. Man, I haven't even watched a BKXC video in like a month. It's not because I'm like ignoring all these. It's just I'm taking a break from mountain bike content. You do probably see me comment on a few videos, but I've been trying to keep up with all the new camera videos and also just kind of decompressing. You know, with my injury, I've just kind of been decompressing, working on some work projects because I got to pay for all this stuff somehow. But yeah. Milo, what's going on, man? What's up with you? All right. Yep. This way. Yeah, I need to catch up on that, Ryan. I apologize. I hope you understand, Ryan. Sometimes there's just too much good content. Can't catch up with everything. I know, man. We've been through so much. We filmed that video together. We almost killed each other on an ice-covered hill. I'm not going to call it a mountain hill, because it was the hill of life. Been through so much. Let's see, it's probably... The wheel is rolling. Where's the rotation? The wheel is rolling this way. It is going to lock this way. So I'm just trying to figure out which way the brake is going to pull this so I can pre-torque it. So that way the stuff doesn't, the rotor doesn't slide a little bit, get all wonky when I first pull the brakes. The hill of death. Yeah, the hill of bad decisions, man. That's what that was. We still got 30 people hanging out. I think that counter in the upper left is broken because it says 0. But according to my live feed on my handy dandy communication device here, we got 29 people watching me do naughty things to a bike that doesn't belong to me. For those just joining, this is a demo, the Guerrilla Gravity. It's the Smash. This is their long travel 29er. They have quite a few options. They have the Trail Pistol, which is kind of their short travel 29er. Short travel being a relative term in their lineup. I think it can be stretched out all the way to 150 on the front and then 130 on the rear. They advertise it as 120, but you can actually get it installed with a 130. The cool thing about Guerrilla Gravity, let's talk about Guerrilla Gravity as a company. Nice, definitely, Panda. I'll let you know when I make it up there. Every time I go up to Bellingham, I go up a little bit further north each time. This time I actually made it into Canada, but it was just for a night to go to the Vancouver night market. Credits to clear certain features. Gotcha. Okay. But Guerrilla Gravity. So Guerrilla Gravity is a company here in Denver. Not sure how long they've been around, but they have quite a few bikes available. And the interesting thing about Guerrilla Gravity is they are all about customizing the bike to the rider. And that can mean a lot of things. On their website, you can literally a la carte the bike build. So let's say you're like me, you just sold a bike, but you got a bunch of leftover parts that you want to add to your new bike, and you don't want to go through the hassle of buying a complete build, selling off the old parts, hoping that you can get decent money for it, and then going through all that. You can just select the parts that you want, and like they actually have pretty good prices on them. Like they give like direct to consumer prices, so you can actually save some money there, like legitimately. So on their bike builder online, you can completely customize it, and if you don't see something on the website, you can actually call them up and they'll figure out how to get it at a decent rate. And if they can't, then there's always the option of just not putting it on the bike. So what's up, biker? What's going on, man? Good to see you. So yeah, anyways, the other thing is that they will customize the bike frame for you. Since all these bikes are welded up here in Denver, Colorado, you can actually sit down with the bike builders and figure out if you can do a custom build or not. And that can mean a few things there. They have what's called an extra medium. So everyone knows extra large. So they have small, medium, large, and I think they have an extra large on some of the frame. But what extra medium means, they put the seat tube, they weld together, because all these things are welded per order. So you can't really just walk in the store and buy one. You walk in and say you want to buy one, and they weld it up for you over a couple weeks. You can order an extra medium where it's a medium seat tube, but everything else is a large. So if you're like me that has most of their height in their torso, you can get the reach of a large, but then the seat tube of a medium. So then it's easier to get a longer dropper post on there. That is super cool. Biking with Panda, I bet they would work with you on that. It might cost a little bit extra. The extra medium is a $200 markup on top of the retail, which like a frame is $19.95, so $1,995. So basically you're looking at a $2,200 frame there, a full custom build, and they will work with you on like a full custom. So if you wanted to modify stuff elsewhere, they'll do it, but it starts at like $500 and can go up there depending on how complex it is. But it's an option. But if I go with the Guerrilla Gravity, I'll probably get the extra medium. And that's pretty cool. Schmedium, that is also what they called it. Will I buy one? I don't know, Ryan. I know this climbs well, but I'm still figuring out. There's a lot of good bikes out there. I've ridden a lot of good bikes, and so I've climbed with this, but tomorrow I'm going to see how it descends. Paul, yes, that is just what I'm looking for. Pony Gravy, $2,200 frame. Considering that Yeti charges $3,500 for their frame, I don't know. I would say that's kind of a bargain to get a custom built frame for $2,200 to $2,500. Because I was talking with them, like, okay, could we like shorten up the reach? Could we do that? Just Not like actually sitting down like let's do it, but like just kind of spitballing ideas just to see. Taking a long sip there. All right, let's see if this wheel mounts up. So this is a custom build that I got from Fanatic Bike. The wheel, I should say. It is an Ibis 938. Yeah, 938 alloy rim, DT Swiss double butted spokes with a Hope Pro 4 hub. So these can definitely handle the chunder of the mountain. Justin Ramsey, let's see. Probably I've never priced that out. Yeah, a custom, I mean, Yeti's expensive. A full custom build can get expensive quick. But I would have to change my name if I got one. Yeah, Alloy Horse Rider. Might want to like, or you might like the spec on the Intense Carbon or Recluse Carbon with a shock for that price. Yeah, I mean, I sold the Yeti for $2,800, so that gives me a lot of wiggle room. I already have the MRP ribbon, 160 millimeter with a 51 millimeter offset, and that's what this frame uses. But that doesn't mean I'm exclusively looking at bikes with 51 millimeter offsets, because MRP, being the awesome company they are, can in fact swap out parts to make it a 46 millimeter offset. Okay, hang on. Try to do this right. Can I? Oh, you tighten it on the other end. Huh, that's cool. Getting used to this different fork here. Back it off a little bit. There we go. I think. Hang on. Hold up. Hold up. Nope. Yeah, okay. So it only tightens up. I'm just trying to figure out this through axle. It's a little bit different. There we go. Oh! You guys hear that? It's a ton of brake rub. I'll have to center them. Yeah, biker. So this is a demo. I'm taking it up to a bike park for the weekend. A certain bike park, and I'm gonna see how it gets on. But once I'm done swapping parts here, we'll talk a little bit more about what is happening. So yeah, I don't know. It's really cool, the idea of getting a custom built frame, but at the same time, I kind of don't know what I'm doing. Meaning that a good bike builder will try to help guide you through the process and make sure that you don't build a bad bike, because that's the last thing they want to do when you're spending that much money. But at the same time, they'll only be able to fight you so much, and they're only taking your word on what you might like. So I could have Guerrilla Gravity build up a custom bike for me, fully custom, with custom reach numbers and everything. Go take one ride on it and absolutely hate it and have no idea what to do. Because what are you going to do with a fully custom bike? You know, you can't just sell that on Craigslist. You got to try to find someone who wants it. Rocco is in the next room because Rocco is a wrecking ball. Rocco has been very needy lately. Because he, even though he's turning 11 next week, fun fact, Rocco and I share the same birthday. So he's turning 11 and I'm turning 33. He is regressing in his age. He's getting more energetic, and we're having to take him out and play with him every single day. So if you want to move a bike fast, just park it on the streets of Toronto with a nice lock. That's not what I mean by get rid of it, man. PD poops on my head, but he's still invited to live streams. Yeah, but PD can't knock over a, three. I think this one spec'd out the $3,000. PD can't knock over a $3,000 demo bike that doesn't belong to you. PD is a cool bird. We used to have birds as kids. Or, not we, meaning it was actually my dad. My dad liked finches. So we had like a golden finch and something else. They chirped a lot though. When they passed away of natural causes, we did not replace them. We enjoyed the quiet. But maybe I'm just not a bird person. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a cat and dog person. Natural causes. They were in fact natural causes. We had those birds for quite a while. They were very noisy birds. Clean those guys out. So I'm just swapping over the rotors because even though I need to recenter everything, and this is going to be a pain to put everything back Sunday afternoon once I'm done with all day bike park, even though it'll be a pain, since I'm putting on different wheels, I do not want to put on different brake pads with foreign pad material on it, just because if those pads get cross-contaminated with something and then I hand it back and it's all squeaky and I don't know, it's just a bad time. So it takes 10 minutes to swap over the rotors while I'm live streaming, so why not? Yeah, I don't think I'll do that, Panda. Thanks for the suggestion, though. Don't wanna do that. Let's see. I saw mountain biking in Santa Cruz. Nice. Being in Austin, I saw all sorts of pets. I was in a college class with someone who had a pet iguana that she brought to class. And it freaked the crap out of me because I didn't know it was there. And I was trying to focus on a test. And I just kept seeing this movement out of the side of my eye. But like, she was wearing this scarf and it was like nestled in a scarf. So I didn't know it was there. And then finally, like, its head lifted up and like, in my periphery vision, I just knew that something moved. And I turn and I just see this freaking lizard there. And I may have made a sound that was not very masculine. Oh, you're not an admin. Hang on. Hold up. Hold up. Dang it. Hold on. Why can I not? No, I don't want to put Biker in timeout. Hang on, Biker. Let's fix this. Let's fix this right the fudge now. And add. Boom. Oh, that is my Android phone, and it has one of those like blue light filter built in. So it helps me mellow out at the end of a long day. Otherwise I'll stay awake staring at bike parts on my phone. That is true. That is true, Matt. And usually everyone's super chill. So we have not had to throw down the band hammer on, I don't think, any of my live streams. So good job, people. You get a gold star for being awesome. My phone just asked me if I wanted to take a break. It's that new, feature in YouTube, which, by the way, as a content creator, I find it so asinine that YouTube as a machine wants you to keep people watching videos as long as possible. You never want to be what's called a session ender, which is someone's watching a series of videos, don't have to be from the same channel, just, next video, next video, next video. Being a session ender means they watch your video, but then they close YouTube and go off and do something else, because then they're not making revenue. So that's a mark against your video. If you get enough marks, they stop promoting that video. So it's counterintuitive to me as a content creator that YouTube would add a feature into their app that actively tries to get people to stop watching YouTube. Hopefully they kind of put a little flag next to that, so if your video is the session ender, but it was because the app reminded them, then you don't get a negative hit. But it's just, I don't know. YouTube is just crazy. Maybe I just complain too much. Yeah. And here's the thing, Panda. We won't know. That's the thing. That's not one of those things we can track. So maybe like a year from now, they realize they forgot to put in that, if statement in their code. So which model bike is that? So Matt, this is the Smash, and I would guess this is the base model. It came spec'd with DT Swiss. DT Swiss splines, 29, of course, because it's a 29er. 2.3 Maxxis front and rear. NX SRAM drivetrain with the E13 cassette, and then race face effect cranks, the RockShox Debonair Deluxe, and then the Suntour fork. Robert, thanks for hanging out, man. Hopefully you and I will get to ride someday soon. It is a nice bike, Matt, and yeah, it's kind of silly that I'm swapping out parts. It's not because it's bad. It's just because, if I'm going to lay down some serious cash for this bike, because this is like in the top 3 right now, there's a couple bikes, and there's one I actually have not been able to test yet. But I've been oogling it from afar. I'm waiting for it to come in stock at my local bike shop so I can test it. That literally is the one bike that I'm waiting to try before I make my decision. But I won't say which one, because I think you guys would be very surprised if I said what it was. I want to have some sort of, I got to do the YouTube cliche of the reveal and, oh, which bike is he getting? gotta get you guys enticed. Gotta get that clickbait. So yeah, I'm just customizing this to make sure that I really like it. And it should help me make my decision with parts that I'm used to. I know how these tires react. I know how these wheels react. I like the grips, I like the bar, all that stuff. Man, the SB130, man, I haven't test ridden it, but I'm going to be honest. I don't know if I want to spend $3,500 on a bike. I know I just sold a Yeti, and I got $2,800 sitting right there waiting to go to a new bike because I sold it. But I kind of am looking at this as a new angle. I really want to start getting more towards value. Like Daily MTB Rider and I have been talking about this. Like we both are kind of moving in the same direction where like we don't want to have the biggest, baddest bikes because first off, it's expensive because we don't get deals on these bikes. So we have to pay for them out of our own pockets. And that gets expensive quick. Secondly, like, yeah, it's fun to watch people rail on a super or build a super fancy bike. But at the end of the day, can you really buy it? No, most people can't. Or even if they could, they don't want to because, what's the difference between a Ibis Ritmo and a Yeti? If you like both, about $1,000. That's the difference between the two. So I don't know. I'm not trying to dismiss anyone who like really likes Yeti and cannot imagine buying a new bike. I'm not trying to poo-poo on anyone's bike. If you got the money, as a great man once said, if you have the means, I'd highly recommend it. Name that quote. But it's just, I don't know. The SB130 on paper does look perfect, but I just can't bring myself to spend $3,500 on the frame and still need to buy other components. I don't know. Does that make me pretentious? Let me know your thoughts. All right. Let's index these gears real quick. Let's see if I screwed up. Not my bike. Sounds like something Hunter S. Thompson would say. I don't know if that's a compliment. I don't know. What do you mean there, Panda? Maybe I'm just overthinking all this stuff. Maybe it don't matter. Maybe it don't matter. Maybe I don't know how to install a rear wheel. There we go. I've done this before, once or twice. Pretty sure I'm definitely going to have to re-index these. Oh, hey, you know what I just remembered? This is a SRAM. There we go. I love that. It's got that little lockout feature on the rear derailleur. So you don't have to argue with the freaking spring the whole time. Maybe? Come on. Come on. Uh-oh. Hold up. Is it just catching on the brake pads? I think it's just catching. There we go. It's just catching on the brake pads. All right. So let's see what you guys said about my rant. If you have the means, I highly recommend it. Kind of thing. Oh, that was Ferris Bueller. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Maybe Ferris Bueller was quoting someone else. Canadian. How are the skis? Are they sufficiently waxed? All ready to hit that pow pow. I don't know if that's just like an American thing. All right. This is, ooh, I don't want to cross thread this. You know what? Hang on. I'm going to take this off. Yeah. I want to cross thread this axle. So instead of installing it this way, I'm going to flip the bike around and let gravity help hold it in place. Nice. Little more than stump jumper. Yeah, the stump jumpers are, I mean, they're really popular too. They're also kind of expensive. I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying to save money for cameras, or I'm just trying to put on airs. Not sure. What I do know is I did not torque down any of the bolts on my, there we go, any of the bolts on the stem. So if I try to send it, that will end in tears. So I need to make sure after this live stream I go through with a fine-tooth comb and torque everything to spec. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. There's the wheel. So how many people have destroyed their bike trying to work on it? Whether it be stripping out of bolts, installing a bottom bracket the wrong way, or doing other sorts of nonsensical things that could have been avoided with just a little bit more patience and Googling on the internets. Because I've been there at least once already. Biking with Panda. Trail features. we've been on similar journeys. You have been reassembling a bike, and I've been trying to get this effin' bag of walnut halves to close, but the damn Ziploc bag, cheap knockoff crap, is crap. Sorry, I was trying to do a dramatic reading and it failed. Yes. Yeah, Carbon, what was your oh crap moment working on a bike? Cause I'll tell you mine. And it is a classic one. Alright, I think I have this threaded on correctly. So there's like really, really fine threads on this axle, and you have to put it on using a tool, and I don't like that, because whenever you use a tool to thread in a bolt of any kind, you run the risk of cross-threading the crap out of it. And once you cross-thread it, that's it. I don't want to buy these guys a new axle. I will if I mess it up, but I don't want to. Of course. All right. How cool would it be if I don't need to re-index this? Okay. There's a little bit of brake rub. Let's see. Wow. Wow. No. Guys, seriously? Are you serious? Okay, so let me just put this in context. I just put a completely different wheel on with a completely different cassette. It was a E13 cassette on a DT Swiss wheel with a completely different hub. And this is a completely different hub, completely different cassette, completely different wheel, and it shifts like butter. Wow. Oh, that's expensive, Canadian. That's expensive. Paul destroyed a hub. I don't want to hunt for a tap and die that would fit this thing, and besides, that'd be kind of crappy, you know, considering how cool the guys have been to me already. And by the way, I've been keeping it like super down low that, you know, I'm this huge YouTuber. I appreciate everyone that has subscribed. 3,500 subscribers, by the way. That's a big number. But like, I'm not Seth level. So, but I've been trying to like keep it on the down low that I have a YouTube channel, because I don't want them to treat me differently. Because I actually, some of my local bike shops in Austin, I did get a little bit of preferential treatment. And it was great, but at the same time, you know, it's always hard to recommend places when you know that that's not the experience other people would get. Just like if I get preferred treatment with a product that I got sent, it's kind of crappy to be like, oh, they're a great company, but that's not really what you're going to experience. So same thing. Been really on the down low with Guerrilla Gravity, and handing back a somewhat broken bike would be kind of a douche move. So anyways, that was a bit of a tangent. Messed up the brake lever assembly. Oh, shortening a hose. That's expensive. That is not cheap, man. So the first time I decided to upgrade a bike, by the way, I have no idea where these tires have been, and I'm using them as a rest, but I'll take a shower afterwards. The first bike that I tried to upgrade was my Kona Lanai. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. And I wanted to convert it to 11 by, and I had to take off the very crappy crank set that was on there. It was one of those welded crank sets where like the cassette was just, or all the chain rings were welded together. And getting the cranks off of the bike turned out to be a nightmare, because I bought I bought a crank puller, but the cranks were so cheap that even though I threaded in the crank puller all the way to the crank arm, as soon as I turned it, just pulled out all the threads on the inside of the crank arm for the crank puller threads in. So now it's impossible for me to get this thing off. I spent 2 days trying to get this crank arm off. I did all the tricks. I tried to heat up one part to try to get it to expand so I could get it off. I tried riding on it with the bolts loosened, which is super dangerous. I tried banging on it with a hammer. I tried everything, and then I started to saw through the crank arm or the axle or anything I could get, some sort of leverage on to pull it off. And I was like trying to cut right here on the crank arm to be able to put a chisel in there and literally just break it off. Spent 2 days, nicked my frame, did all sorts of damage, and then finally I found this one random YouTube video of a guy who went through the same thing. A part puller, 3-pronged part puller. You can buy them for like $30 on Amazon. And if you've never used a part puller, literally all it is a metal claw-like thing that you can clamp around something, and then in the middle it has a bolt that you can use to extrude down, and it pushes down on the part and pulls it up. And I bought one of those, and 5 minutes later I had it off. And I had spent 2 days of just trying to get it off, and damaged all sorts of parts, and cost all sorts of money, and a $20 tool, and 5 minutes was all I needed. So that was my oh crap moment. That was more of just a learning opportunity than actually screwing stuff up, but I feel like it was there. Pulley puller, that's also what it's called. Pulley puller, part puller. Biker with Panda, if anything, it gets you treated more poorly. You know what? Actually, yeah, sometimes they don't want anything to do with you because they're worried about the PR shitstorm. Anyways, guys, so let's see. I got the wheels on there. I got all the contact points. I think I'm going to leave the saddle on. I think I was going to swap that out, but I think I'm going to leave it. I need to go through and torque everything down. But let's hang out for like 5 minutes. So what type of questions do you guys... Okay. What kind of questions do you guys have for me? Curious about any content that's coming down the pipe? Any more camera questions? Because that seems to be the hot topic with the GoPro. The Fusion is something that I'm very interested in. Because that I just picked up today. Already talked about the drama that I had with it. Just picked that up today, so I'm interested to see how it compares to the Insta360 and then future 360 cameras, because a lot of camera manufacturers are updating their product line. So we're hopefully going to see some stuff. Nice. When you end the stream, could you redirect everyone to my channel so that they don't mark you as a session ender? I can ask everyone to do that, but then it's on you, man. You better keep them entertained. I know you got some cool stuff on there, but it's late, so they might their significant other may be poking them in the side. But I appreciate that, Panda. Similar story to the one about my chain whip push-up. Yes. You think you can get away without it? No, you can't. Oh, Matt, the first Fusion that I got was a fake. If you didn't see my Instagram story from yesterday, I ordered a GoPro Fusion from Amazon, and it was sold through a third-party vendor because Amazon works with third parties. Someone had stolen the camera out of it, printed out a photo of it, black and white photo I think it was, cut it out, put it inside, and then put behind that just a little Ziploc, or not Ziploc, a little zip-up bag full of batteries as a weight, and then returned the camera. and apparently the vendor never checked when they got the camera as a return, and they're supposed to sell it as a return, like a used open box item. Instead, they sold it as brand new, and they sent it to me, and it was magical opening that box. Thankfully, Amazon has really good service, so they sent me a brand new one overnight, so now I have that. Canadian, if you could have any bike, what would you have? That's a good question, man. I've answered this question kind of in the past, but I think I'm going to redact that answer. My first gut reaction would have been like a custom steel hardtail, but I think that after talking with the Guerrilla Gravity guys, because we were spitballing the idea of a custom frames, I realized just how much I don't know. So I think that I'm gonna hold that off for a few more years until I really know what it is that I want. Okay, this is gonna sound weird. If I could have any bike, it would be the Salsa Bucksaw, and you should look it up. It is the bike that literally was built because they could. Salsa wanted to make a fully suspension fat bike. 26 4-inch tires, full suspension fat bike. It is not a practical bike for obvious reasons, but it is the most fun to go through rock gardens and crawl up really steep stuff, and it's a bike you can ride all year. I would never own it as my main bike, but if someone were to give me one for free, I would love to have that in my arsenal because it just looks like so much fun. It's so much fun. It was literally because they could. So yeah, that would be the bike I would get. Have I played with the Sony camera that Seth uses? That's the RX100 Mark V. I've played with it in a store. I've eyeballed it. I've almost bought it a few times, but I don't have it. It is a fantastic camera. I echo everyone on the internet when I say I wish they would put a microphone jack on it. That is the only thing keeping that camera from being the perfect camera. I have not seen that brand, Mike. Or Matt, sorry, it's getting late. I have not seen that, but they don't ship full bikes to the US. They ship frames. I might take a look at it. Oh, ask Jordan. Jordan and I do talk about bikes a lot. He's out with Seth right now, and he's on the Mondraker Foxy, which is a bike that I actually rode in Crested Butte, and it is a very different bike. It was one of those bikes that they were one of the first to do the super long slack, and I really liked the geometry numbers on paper. And then I rode it, and it wasn't a bad bike. It was just so different, I didn't know what to make of it. So I was really interested to see what Jordan's take was on a full day, because I just demoed it for 1 or 2 laps. He's on it like all day long. So I'm interested to see what his take is. Check out Foe's Mutts. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, right, Canadian? It's awesome. More slack than Bucksaw. Yeah, full suspension. It's a heavy bike. I think it's like 32, 33 pounds. And like that's one of the lighter builds. I've seen people like put fully custom carbon wheel sets on it and bars and cranks, anything to make it lighter. That would be ridiculous, Canadian. That would be, you mean a dirt bike? Yeah, basically. All right, guys, it's getting late. I gotta actually get up early, and I need to do a few more things, like remember to torque down all these bolts before I head out tomorrow. So thanks for hanging out. 30 people for a spontaneous live stream, and we've been going for at least an hour. Let's see, how long have we been going for? At least an hour. I'm pretty sure longer. But thanks for everyone for stopping by. Thanks for the live stream. Hopefully I got to everyone's question. Yeah, everyone go and check out Panda's channel. He's got some pretty cool projects on there. He built a super bright LED light for his fat bike for winter riding, so it's a pretty cool one. But until next time, get out there and find your next adventure, and have a fantastic weekend. Good night, everyone.